Hey guys, so this is part 3 of my hair transplant video. This is day 8 for me, and this is my growth. Super excited about this journey. Okay, so jumping into part 3, I do want to tell you guys that there is a bit of a language barrier, of course, because you're going to a different country. So what I did ahead of time, y'all, I'm overly prepared for everything all the time. That's just who I am. So I knew that there will be a language barrier, but I also heard that there are translators at the clinic when you get something done. But in my mind, I'm like, what if the translator is working with other people? Or what if the translator leaves the room? Or what if the translator doesn't come into work that day? How am I going to communicate with these people of how I want my hairline to look or my eyebrows? Just want to make sure I'm not looking crazy. So I ended up just basically coming up with all of the prompts that I thought I would need to say to these people while being out there. And I basically went on ChatGPT and I typed in, say this in Turkish. Where's the bathroom? What is the Wi-Fi password? How do you find this? Where's the Xane, which is pharmacy? I just typed in a whole bunch of prompts that I would need, like while I'm walking through the airport. How will I communicate with these people if I don't have service? That was something that I was like kind of worried about, but it ended up working out perfectly for me. But I'm glad that I had this as like a backup just in case, because there was one part of the when I was traveling, I had just gotten off of the plane and I had to figure out how to get to baggage claim or how to get to customs, and it wasn't no signs, not in English. And I do have the Google Translate app on my phone, but Google Translate, you can take it out and you can you can press the camera and you can put it up to a word that's not in your primary language and it will translate it for you in real time. I just needed to just figure out how to get there. And I was asking this man that I saw and he didn't know what I was saying. So it was like, but I did have the prompt in my phone. He was like, oh yeah. Well, he didn't say, oh yeah, but you know what I mean. He was able to understand what I was saying and to help me. So definitely try to figure out the prompts that you need. I can do an ebook if you guys are interested of all of the helpful prompts and how to say it in that language, just so that you can have it either screenshotted on your phone, which I did, or you can like store it in a folder or something like that so that you can easily access it. And also when I did translate these words and questions, I had the English on the top, so I know exactly what this says. And then I also did verify it twice. So ChatGPT generated the question or whatever prompts I wanted. And then I would go on Google Translate just to ask, what does this say? And then it confirmed it. So ChatGPT was 1,000,000% accurate with the translations. So yes. Another thing too, I was very particular on how I wanted my eyebrows, the placement of the grafts, the implantation angle, how I wanted my widow's peak to look. I wanted it to look exactly how it looked when I was younger, before I lost my hair. This is my exact hair shape. Hairline shape as it was before. My hairline has never been perfect on both sides. This has always had like an arc here. This has always been like that. That's just how God made my hairline. But I do have some baby hairs that look like they're growing in. And I did want them to do the hairline behind my baby hair so that, my baby hair could still come through so I could do cute little swirls. I don't have that many baby hairs that they left out, but I just wanted to make sure that I still had that option just in case. And I also wanted to make sure to communicate with them that I wanted a zigzag or irregular hairline in the front. I personally, I don't like that straight U that people have. I don't like that mannish arc that they do. And I feel like everyone's head is not a one size fits all when it comes to hairlines. I wanted them to follow my natural hairline. That was really important to me, but also I didn't want it to look so sharp. So they did do the irregular placement of it, but they also didn't make it look too exaggerated, which I liked. So after a hair transplant, there are different phases that you have to go through. Shock loss is after this phase. So after I remove the scabs, which I'm going to do in about 3 days, shock loss comes where all of this hair is going to be bald. And basically all the magic is happening underneath the skin and your hair follicles are, getting all those nutrients and vitamins and minerals and blood vessels and capillaries and things of that nature. And it's actually, creating a new follicle under the skin so that it can grow on top. That process takes a few weeks. So depending on the person and how you're eating and what your diet is and what you're doing, if you're smoking, drinking, all these things, not eating healthy, eating fast food, all that stuff, that plays a major part in your recovery and also the strength of your hair. And for me, I was very particular in how I wanted everything to look in general. So I made sure to actually map out. I wrote down everything I want. I want an irregular hairline. I want it to be widow's peak. I want you to keep my natural shape. Y'all, I even went as far as finding photos of me when I was a kid to show them how my eyebrows used to look, to show them how my hairline used to look, just in case there was like some language barriers, right? So I did a whole script saying eyebrows should look like this, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? I broke everything down to them, which I could do an ebook if y'all are interested, because it will be a whole lot to say in a separate video. And they were like, wow, you are so prepared. I even printed it out, y'all. So I made sure that there was no confusion and everything was exactly the way that I wanted it to be. I did have the translator there with me the whole time, which I was happy about. The translator was, very patient with me. They were all very patient with me. I didn't feel rushed. I felt like they cared. I could do a whole nother video on this too if you guys are interested in like the bedside manner, the fact that they come and massage you, they feed you while you're like in there. They just treated me 10 out of 10, 100 out of 10. They just went above and beyond, and I really, really, really did have the best experience. If you do your research and you see people saying that they didn't have the best experience, everyone's different. Everyone's experience is different. I could tell you my own personal experience. It was zero pain. Everything was good. I didn't have to wait for my transport team to come get me after, whenever I needed to be transported anywhere. It was like, they were on point. They were on point, y'all. Great experience. I have no complaints at all. Oh, and they picked me up in a Maybach, y'all. I was in a Maybach by myself. I was like, okay. I do also want to recommend packing snacks in your bag, like, in your carry-on bag or whatever. Some people did DoorDash though. You could DoorDash, you can Uber Eats, you could do the same things that we do here in America. But for me, I did go down to the restaurant that was attached to the hotel, and I did get food whenever I needed food. But of course the hotel, the restaurant may close at a certain time, but then it's room service. If you wanted room service, you can actually get it. They do give you medicine after the procedure. You have to have an anti-swelling medication, an antibiotic, and also like pain meds or whatever if you need it. I didn't need any of the pain medication. If you are unable to get food and you need to take the medicine, definitely have some snacks in your bag so you can just eat some crackers or something to help, the medicine go down so you won't have an upset stomach. A lot of people talk about not being able to shower for the first few days. I've been able to shower and I've not had any issues. I do like extremely steamy showers. But you want to make sure that you're being very careful in the shower, of course, because I have my eyebrows done, or the hair transplant on my brows as well. I am not able to like fully wash my face, so I have to like just wash my cheeks, and then like when I get out of the shower I just like kind of wash my forehead, but I'm very, very careful. But you want to make sure that you're not getting product in any of these areas. Also, because I like steamy showers and you're not able to sweat within the first 10 days, I do leave my bathroom door open, and I do kind of leave the shower curtain halfway open so that, I have lots of air coming in so that I'm not sweating. And it has been working. So I have been able to shower with no problems. You want to make sure that you have a lot of fluids. You want to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, Gatorade, pineapple juice. Pineapple juice is really good for swelling and inflammation after any type of procedure. I stocked up on all of these things before I left. I made sure that my freezer was filled with things that I can easily just cook when I got here so that I wouldn't be stressed, or that, I would be able just to access food without having to go to the grocery store and all of those things. I have been to the grocery store a couple of times since this procedure. I am on day 8. I went to the grocery store at like day 3 and day 4 just to get some extra fruit. Water is also really important as well, because you have to flush your system of that sedation and the local anesthetic, and also all of the medications that you may be taking after the procedure. Even down to putting on your neck pillow to sleep. You want to be very careful that you do not like harm your grafts at all. So I don't put my neck pillow over my head. I kind of like push it around my neck like that so that I'm not harming the grafts at all, because you want to make sure that you don't dislodge any of them. Apparently when you dislodge them, they fall out and you lost a hair follicle. I don't need to lose any hair follicles. I've lost enough hair follicles in my life. I just need it all to work. This is also the time to really focus and pour into you and do extra self-care during this time. Put on your cute earrings, wear your best lingerie, wear those outfits that you got deep in your closet. Like, just do things to make yourself feel good about you during this time, right? Make sure you're taking care of your nails. Make sure you're trying to take care of your skin. Make sure you're actually like, eating healthy. Just make sure that you're pouring into you in every way, and all of that is going to pay off. I promise you. So that is all the information that I could think of about my hair transplant and the questions that people ask me.